This is bro.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another episode of the Halftime Talk. Now, on this channel, we discuss all things sports. But tonight, we'll be looking at, or we'll be focusing on the UEFA Champions League Game Week 2 with a couple of interesting fixtures that we will be breaking down and predicting what we think is going to happen in those particular fixtures. Now, with that being said, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you can, turn on your post notification button to get notified every time we drop these videos. Now, ladies and gentlemen, without any more to do, let's get straight into it. Now, the first fixture we'll be looking at from tonight's round of fixtures is PSG taking on Manchester City. Now, the two sides have managed to meet 4 times in the UEFA Champions League. Manchester City managing to win 3 of the 4 games, while the other one ending as a draw. Now, the two sides are coming into this one with very similar records in their respective leagues. PSG managing to win 4 games, including one draw, whilst Manchester City managed to do exactly the same, including a 1-0 win over Chelsea over the weekend, which I thought that they showed a really dominant performance as far as tactics are concerned, and really neutralizing Chelsea at their own home venue. Now, if we had to go into tactics, we know that both of these managers are really hard to read, especially with how they're going to select their squads and how they're going to approach the game. But on paper, we are expecting a 4-3-3 formation from both managers, although I do not think that this formation really works well for PSG, especially if you had to look at the game they played against Club Brugge. Club Brugge really dealt well with making sure that they outnumber PSG in the midfield and applying a man-marking system, which in essence forced the PSG midfielders really deep and did not allow them to turn and play the ball into spaces for players like Lionel Messi, Kylian Mbappe, and Neymar Jr. And what they did is also apply a high line to make sure that there's really small spaces between the PSG's or between their back line and their midfield, which was pressing PSG's midfield, and in essence didn't allow Messi or Neymar to play in between the pockets or in between the lines rather. So the first half against Club Brugge was really disappointing, but I think when Mauricio Pochettino introduced players like Mario Icardi and Nuno Mendes, it got a real better. PSG now started playing in behind the Club Brugge back four, and in essence creating chances which could have sealed off the game, but they couldn't do, which is something they're going to have to improve on if they do wish to beat Manchester City for the first time in this competition. City, on the other hand, we know that their formation changes as they progress up the field. I think against Chelsea, they applied a 4-4-2 formation, especially on press, pressing really aggressively and not really giving Chelsea enough space to play from behind, which I think is the same thing that they'll be looking to do today. We do know that PSG will have majority of the ball position. If we look at the second leg that they played last season, PSG managed to have more ball possession, although Manchester City had more shots on target than PSG, recording 5 shots on target, and PSG managing to record none. So it tells you that Manchester City were playing quite an effective type of a brand of football. Which worked for them over the period of the 2 legs, and which in essence led them into the Champions League final. So it's going to be a really interesting match between the two teams. I think, as we saw, it's going to be nail-biting stuff. Obviously, PSG, the introduction of Messi makes them a completely different team. And Manchester City will have to be at the very, very best in terms of defense, especially against a PSG side which has so many attacking options, which uses the wing backs, which they can use players like Neymar through the middle or Mbappe through the wing. So Manchester City will have to be on their best defensively, because PSG give a really different type of attack in terms of if we had to compare them with some of the English Premier League clubs that they play. But I think Pep Guardiola is well aware of this. I think, people have criticized Pep that when he goes into big games, he tends to overthink his tactics. But we have to give him credit. When he gets it right, Manchester City are just a joy to watch. And I think today or tonight will be one of those games where he will get it right. I think it's not going to be a easy game for Manchester City, obviously. But I think if they do get their tactics right on the day, there's no team in Europe that can play against Manchester City. That is just my opinion. And I think PSG will have to be wary of the threat that they do possess. I think Manchester City will be looking to play on the counter. Same way they did in the second leg in the semi-final last season. I think they allowed PSG to come and press them really high, and then what that did, they left the pitch or their wingers really wide and creating 1v1 situations. And I think Edison in that game was absolutely phenomenal. I think there was one ball that he played over the top that managed to reach Phil Foden, who played it back to Kevin De Bruyne, who took a shot and it deflected, and Riyad Mahrez managed to tap the ball in. So Manchester City will be looking to play more. We'll be looking to see more of that from Manchester City tonight. And I expect them to really do well against PSG. I think they come into the game with a lot of confidence, especially beating such a defensively solid team like Chelsea convincingly. Although the scoreline was really, really close, I think Manchester City should have been 4-0 up by the 70th minute against Chelsea. But that's another thing they're going to need to work on, is really finishing their chances. And I'll always emphasize this. Manchester City, whenever they lose or draw, it's not because they were the worst team on the day, but it's also because they miss a lot of opportunities. But I think today they will be at their best. I think the manager makes sure that they well drilled, well prepared for these types of fixtures, but it's not going to be easy. PSG are going to come out all guns blazing. I think there's a lot riding on this fixture. I think the PSG board are really assessing Mauricio Pochettino really carefully and asking themselves if he is the manager indeed to bring that all-important trophy that they've been looking for the past seasons, which is the UEFA Champions League. So they'll be looking at such big games to see if he is indeed the man to lead them to the UEFA Champions League. So I'm expecting PSG to really come out all guns blazing. It's going to be a tough match. I think PSG are going to test Manchester City. If anything, they do also have the potential of embarrassing Manchester City tonight. But do I actually see it going that way? I don't think so. I think Manchester City are very solid. I think they're well drilled. They have one of the best managers in the world, who will make sure that they are well prepared, and who will make sure that whatever game plan that they have, will be effective on the day. So if I had to put a scoreline to this, I think Manchester City will win 2-1 against Paris Saint-Germain. I think it's going to be a really close game. If they do not win 2-1, I see more of a 1-0 scoreline to Manchester City. And PSG will have to work around the type of formation that they use. I think for me, preferably, I'd like to see them use the 4-2-3-1 formation, having a center forward in front of that trio of Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe. Someone who's different, who offers a different game to what Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe offer. Someone they can play off. I think if you can go back to when Luis Enrique was the Barcelona coach and he had the front three of Messi, Luis Suarez, and Neymar. Luis Suarez offered something different from Messi and Neymar, and that's why Messi and Neymar were able to flourish in that front trio, because Luis Suarez would sometimes hold up the balls, would play balls in spaces, and would allow Messi and Neymar to drop in deep and play balls to him, which he could hold up and do such things. We see Chelsea doing the very same thing. They have Romelu Lukaku, who's completely different to Kai Havertz and Mason Mount, and they are able to play balls to him for him to hold up and allow them to play, or allow him to play the balls into spaces. And more than anything, he keeps the center forwards or the center backs quite occupied. So Messi and Neymar do have, spaces, or players like Messi and Neymar do have spaces to play around. If you look at their game against Club Brugge, when Mauricio Pochettino introduced Mario Icardi into the game, they all of a sudden started playing much better. Messi started finding spaces in behind the Club Brugge midfield. Neymar started finding spaces. You had Nuno Mendes, who I think is a phenomenal player, coming into the left hand side and putting a lot of balls into the box. I think PSG could have won the game, in my opinion. I think Messi had a few chances where he could have taken a shot, but he decided to pass unnecessarily. Hakimi started playing down the right flank. So PSG are a really good side, but as I said, from the get-go, they need, or Mauricio Pochettino needs to find the right combinations and the right system in order for the players that he has to flourish. I don't think the 4-3-3 formation works for them particularly, but I think for this game it will work if they do wish to catch City on a counter in some instances when City decide to push up into their half. But yeah, I think moving forward, he might need to tweak the system a bit, and it will work to PSG's favor. But for this fixture particularly, I think Manchester City have a lot of momentum and a lot of confidence going into this one, especially beating Chelsea FC, a team that they struggled to beat last season. Chelsea managing to beat them 3 times in different competitions. So that was a morale boosting victory for them. And I think Pep Guardiola has a really good game plan for Mauricio Pochettino and will be looking to get the 3 points. So that's just my opinion on this fixture. Now, the second fixture we'll be looking at from game week 2 in the UEFA Champions League is Liverpool or FC Porto taking on Liverpool in Portugal tonight. Now, the two sides have managed to meet 6 times, Liverpool winning 4 times, and the other 2 games ending as draws. Now, Porto FC will be looking to improve their performances against Liverpool, especially at home. The last time Liverpool played in Portugal against Porto was back in the 2018-2019 season in the quarterfinals rather, of the same competition. Liverpool managing to win 6-1 on aggregate and 4-1 when they went to FC Porto's home. So Porto will be looking to improve. Their manager likes using a 4-4-2 formation or a 4-2-3-1 formation, depending on how he wants to approach the game. The last time they played in the Champions League against Atletico Madrid away from home, they managed to get a 1 point from the fixture, the game ending as a 0-0. They also used the 4-4-2 formation, as I said. The manager likes using or choosing between the two formations. So FC Porto will be looking to play off the break tonight against Liverpool. Obviously, Liverpool, the last time they went out this past weekends against Brentford, managed to get a point from the game. I don't know why I'm saying managed, because I expected Liverpool to win the game. As I said in my preview leading up to those fixtures, I expected Liverpool to win the game 3-1, and it ended up being a 3-3 game. So Liverpool will be looking to improve defensively. I think they were really prone to counterattacks. I think Brentford was really, really well prepared. Using the spaces behind Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andy Robertson to really attack Liverpool, and causing a lot of problems between that channel between Trent Alexander-Arnold or Virgil van Dijk or Matip, and really the strikers running in behind into the half spaces rather, and causing Liverpool some problems. So Liverpool will need to improve on that aspect of their game. So heading into this one, there's not a lot to say about the two sides. Liverpool obviously still unbeaten this season. Um, so I'm expecting them to do the same. I'm not expecting Liverpool to beat Porto away from home. I think Porto will be highly motivated, especially looking how Liverpool have been playing so far this season. As I said, this is not the same Liverpool that we were used to over the past couple of seasons. They don't possess the same amount of threat. I don't think they scare a lot of teams like they used to. So Porto will be looking to get their first win over Liverpool. But I think Liverpool also, have a very dangerous front three. They have a front three that can create something out of nothing. They have especially if you look at Diego Jota's goal. I mean, literally no one could have said it after Brentford scored. Um, Out of nothing, Liverpool managed to equalize. So that's exactly what I'm saying. They create something out of nothing. So Porto will have to be switched on for majority of the game if they do wish to beat Liverpool. But in my opinion, I see this game ending as a draw. Um, I think Porto will be solid. Porto will be looking to really deal with Liverpool's front three, deal with Liverpool's pressing, and they'll be looking to play off the counter attack, off the break rather. So between the two sides, I don't really see much. I think it's going to be a draw. I think Liverpool will also be happy with a draw away from home. Um, but yeah, that's just how I see the game ending. I see it as a 2-2 draw. 2-2 or 1-1 draw. That's just how I see the game ending. I think both sides are quite solid defensively, although Liverpool managed to concede 3 goals the past weekend. But I do not want to judge them based off one game. I think they've been solid for the other 5 games. So they'll be looking to fix that against Porto tonight. They'll be quite solid, sound. They'll be catching, but they will have opportunities as Liverpool Football Club. But I do think Porto will just have enough to get another point in their second game in the Champions League, and they'll be looking to build on from that. So, yeah, that's just how I see the game ending for this one. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for making it to the end of the video. We do appreciate your support. With that being said, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on your post notification buttons every time we drop these videos. Do not forget or be on the lookout for the next upload, which will be coming on tomorrow afternoon, where we'll be previewing some of the fixtures that will be taking place in the second game day in the UEFA Champions League, including Liverpool taking on FC Porto, as well as Juventus taking on Chelsea FC. So be on the lookout on the channel. Turn on your post notification button so that you get notified when we drop that video. With that being said, stay safe, stay humble, and continue watching the channel.